Welcome back to Speed World coverage of the Budweiser Indiana Governor's Cup from Madison, Indiana. First event of the 1998 UHRA Thunder Tour since the departure of Commissioner Bill Donor. John had a word with the interim head man.
You've taken on a big task here, and that also is a great opportunity, I would think. What needs to be done? How do you plan to do it?
Well, first of all, you've got to look at the sport itself and the spectacle that it presents. And unlimited hydroplane racing has something of bigger-than-life quality. When you see 3.5-ton boats going down the water at 200 miles an hour and with a 7 or 8-ton rooster tail behind them, it's something that is very spectacular. But beyond that, there has to be a reasonable business approach, and we're creating a new business plan and sales and marketing plan to take the sport forward.
What do you need from the owners to make this work?
Money, more than anything else. The owners have to be well financed. This is professional sports. It's not a game. It's a very serious business, and they have to have good sponsors and be well financed. And if they aren't, they're not going to be successful.
What, if anything, can hydro fans do?
Support our sponsors more than anything else. Tell the sponsors you like the sport. Tell the sponsors you buy their products. Let them know about it, because that's what drives the overall market.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, just that I have had a tremendous amount of cooperation from everyone within the sport and outside the sport, and I'm looking forward to a great term here.
Might we see you as a long-term commissioner?
It's possible. I've been asked to consider it, and I'm talking to the owners about it at this point.
A few words from interim commissioner Ned Allen as you saw Mike Weber in the Carpenter Communications struggling to get underway here for the running of Heat 3A, and he is running out of time.
That would be a shame after the terrific competition we just saw a couple minutes ago in the highlights of Heat 2B between the Carpenter and the Pico. But the Pico will be running hard in this one. We'll find out who's going to do what when our Speed World coverage continues from Madison, Indiana. Welcome back to Ralph's Thunder Tour presented by Las Vegas. We're at the Budweiser Indiana Governor's Cup on the Ohio River in beautiful Madison, Indiana. They're coming up to the start, 23 seconds to go. Let's go down to Steve to set it up.
The draw for Heats 3A and 3B kind of flip-flopped the field. So here in 3A, we have the Pico American Dream, the Carpenter Communications, the Freddy's Club, and the Master Tire, the piston-powered boat, stays in the A section. Steve David and the Ailing Freddy's Club just hoping he can stay ahead of the piston boat and maybe make the final. Here's the start.
And if you were looking closely, you would see only 3 boats made the start. Unfortunately, Mike Weber not able to get the Carpenter Communication up and running from the O'Doul's Eye in the sky. Look at that good jump on the inside by Mark Evans in the Pico American Dream.
Really bad break for the Jones team because they were running very, very well. This will hurt their chances to make the final. Mark Evans, once again, a great start on the Pico and a little bit of life here out of the Freddy's Club Prime Star, running with him up the long back straight.
Steve David has it going, but watch as the angle changes. Here comes Mark Evans moving out to a good solid lead as they pass up toward turn 2 and head back around to the Indiana side of the race course. Steve David, though, still right there in the back of the rooster tail from the Pico.
Hydro fans across the country will observe the Pico still running the new low cowling. You should know that in qualifying, they did try one of the old ones, the higher profile, which brought in more air. No noticeable difference. So Fred is going to go with his new swoopy low and apparently the rest of the season now.
5 miles an hour difference in qualifying time for the Pico and the Freddy's Club. Almost 148 for the Pico and almost 143 miles an hour for the Freddy's Club. Again, from the O'Doul's Eye in the sky, we see Steve David trying to stay in touch with the Pico American Dream. Mark Evans now into the backstretch for the second time. We get his speed. Average lap speed for number 1, 135.810, or just about 136 miles an hour. Not bad.
Steve David and the Freddy's Club Prime Star down a little in horsepower, but the good news, John, a second place here is going to put him in very good shape in the final heat. So the draw has been pretty good to the Jim Harvey team.
Master Tire driving third. Mark Weber in there. Will pick up 225 points if Mark can keep it going all the way through. And they've been having good luck with that in the latter part of the season.
The piston boat, always popular anywhere we go, especially here in Indiana. They are based in Evansville, just a few miles away.
Now here's Mark Evans opening up the lead as he passes the start-finish line into the white flag final lap of these three. And it's very important here in terms of placement to come in on the top four because it's a narrow river. So in the final, 4 boats start up front, and then you have 2 trailers behind them.
Actually makes it very difficult to make the front row in the final heat when only 4 boats are going to qualify. A great shot once again from our O'Doul's eye in the sky of this turn, which can be treacherous. There have been some nasty accidents over the years here in this first turn in Madison.
Mark Evans with the good solid lead now. Wait a second, from this angle, Steve David seems to be moving back up again.
Well, it's that angle. That's our camera way down in the second turn past the bridge. And Mark Evans is really cruising here. He has a nice lead.
We got the excitement just for the moment. Now we can see he has built up a good solid lead coming around one last time, and he'll head for the checkered flag. But it's got to be a bit encouraging for Steve David and that entire Jim Harvey crew to see the boat running a little bit better with each heat.
Well, he did the same thing in Seattle. They started out slow, and by the time they got into that third heat, they were running very, very fast. And, of course, we know what happened then.
Yeah, we hope that doesn't happen again here. That would be upside down. The good news is, again, all he had to show for all that was a broken toe. And I guess he was a little bit embarrassed. Mark Evans in the Pico American Dream, our winner in Heat 3A, and that is still a perfect day so far for the Pico team. Here's Mark Webber bringing the master tire in one last time, and that's going to get him a third-place finish, I do believe. Unfortunately for Mike Webber, not able to go in this one. So 1,200 points so far for Pico. And that, at this point, puts him ahead of the Budweiser. Freddie, 750, down to the dock with Steve and Mark.
I don't want to jinx you by pointing out you've had a perfect day so far.
Kind of noticed that myself. Nothing like having 3 good heat wins right off the bat. Pico team's doing great with me and keeping the boat running in really good manner. So now we're ready for the final, so we can pull that one off too.